What better way to start the Olympics, which is it's supposed to unite different countries, different cultures, be very respectful, be very inclusive. Why not at an event like this, why not just mock one of the central religions that unite so many of these different countries from around the world? Why not? So this actually started to pop up on my X feed. Apparently this is how the Paris opening ceremony 2024 Olympics started. Mocking the Last Supper with a bunch of drag queens. They're trying to mock Christianity, obviously, trying to mock the Last Supper, but it's so low budget. It's terrible. Not only is this obviously disrespectful, sacrilegious, they shouldn't be doing this, but they did such a bad job at it. And here's AP saying the Last Supper is mocked during the Olympics opening ceremony. Now do Islam since it is part of Europe. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I have a feeling they won't do this. So here's a video. You guys can see what it looks like moving. Very, very courageous, intelligent. They're just trying to do a social commentary. Oh, okay. So if you guys don't know this about the Last Supper, it represents a bunch of awesome, virtuous things that everybody should be on board with. It represents sacrifice, love, and redemption. And yet, this is the scene they chose to mock. A scene depicting sacrifice, love, and redemption. Good job, guys. Good job. Good job. Oh yeah, here's a little bit more. Okay, so Sachin Jose says the Olympics the world needs versus the Olympics that the leftists gave us. And here on the right we've got Papa Smurf. Yeah, so here's Joseph D. McBride saying that he's calling on the government and religious leaders worldwide to denounce this attack on the Catholic faith. Here's an interesting video because it actually shows there's a child there. There's a child sitting at the table surrounded by drag queens. And apparently this is good, fine, good stuff, totally okay, totally normal. Again, this is just they're just trying to make a statement here, political statement, which, by the way, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I kind of mentioned this at the beginning. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to try to make some sort of political statement at the Olympics. Okay, it's like this messaging is literally antithetical to the overall purpose of the Olympics. The Olympics are meant to promote unity, peace, mutual respect among these different nations and different cultures. If you mock a sacred religious event it's very culturally insensitive, very disrespectful, and it contradicts the values of inclusivity that the Olympics is supposed to be about. What is the primary purpose of the Olympics? It's to celebrate athletic excellence, sportsmanship, and the achievement of athletes from around the world. Controversial, political or social statements completely take away from this purpose, the focus of the Olympics, and it shifts it away from the athletes. And that's that wouldn't, apart from all of the insensitivity, culturally and religiously, it completely distracts from the purpose of this event, which is to put the focus on these, amazing athletes that have been training for years. And then on top of that, Paris's opening it literally violates the International Olympic Committee's mission statement. You guys got to see this. Let's look this up. Okay, so this is the International Olympic Committee's website. Let's check out their mission statement. Okay, here it is. If you scroll down to number 6, to act against any form of discrimination affecting the Olympic movement. Kind of seems like discrimination against, billions of people. That seems important. If that's part of your mission statement, you probably don't want to do that. Okay, so here's probably one that's even more damning. To oppose, this is their mission statement, to oppose any political or commercial abuse of sport and athletes. And I think that's exactly what's happening here. Like, they're using this event, the Olympic event, which is supposed to be about the athletes, and then they're abusing it for whatever political or social commentary purpose that they've got here, which is, again, explicitly in contradiction with the International Olympic Committee. It's wild stuff. Coming back to Twitter now, or X, we've got Emmanuel Macron, who is just tweeted, "This is France," when all of the opening ceremony stuff was happening. Like, you're proud of this. This is something. This is good. This is a good representation of us. Oh, here's something else that not everyone is talking about, which is this white rider on a pale horse, which apparently taken from Revelation 6:8. Okay. Dr. Eli David says, "Even as a Jew, I'm infuriated by this outrageous insult to Jesus and Christianity. How do you feel about it as Christians?" Yeah, I mean, my view, if I can just answer a little bit, like, this kind of stuff doesn't bother me too much. I feel like Christians have been persecuted in various ways for a very long time. When I see stuff like this, it just, like, it doesn't even bother me too much. I don't know if I'm just so used to it, but I think, and I'm going to share more thoughts about this. We're actually going to watch a video in just a minute about Bishop Robert Barron's response to this whole thing. And then I'll kind of share after that why I think people are doing this, why it's even, like, okay in people's minds to do this kind of thing. If we could get an answer to that question, then I think this kind of stuff would actually stop. Okay, so here's one thing I did want to highlight, though. Secular Outpost, this guy, he is his real name is Jeffrey J. Lauder. He's an atheist philosopher, and he's even saying, "I don't understand the logic of the French organizers here. What does this have to do with French history or culture or the Olympics?" Yeah, I mean, that, like, what are whose decision was this? Part of me wants to know, and part of me is just like, the answer is going to be so dumb that I wish I wouldn't have been given the answer. Okay, let's listen to Bishop Robert Barron. He has, per usual, some insightful things to say about this. And so let's listen to this, and then I'll share why I think people are doing this.
This is Bishop Barron. You know, just a few days ago, I was in Indianapolis for the marvelous celebration of the Eucharistic Congress, 50,000 Catholics coming together to worship the Lord and celebrate the real presence of Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. So I come from that experience, and I come home, and, you know, I love the Olympics, so I turn on the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. What do I see now? And it's in Paris, France, a city I love. I spent 3 years as a doctoral student there. What do I see? But
Paris is beautiful. It's got some beautiful Catholic churches, doesn't it? That's one of the reasons why people go and visit Paris, is for the religious significance. Okay.
This gross mockery of the Last Supper. And I won't describe it any further. Just go online. It's gone viral. You can see it. But France felt, evidently, as it's trying to put its best cultural foot forward, the right thing to do is to mock this very central moment in Christianity where Jesus, at his Last Supper, gives his body and blood in anticipation of the cross. And so it's presented, though, as this gross, sort of flippant mockery. France, which used to be called the eldest daughter of the church, Paris, that gave us, Thomas Aquinas taught there, and Vincent de Paul was there, King Louis IX, St. Louis. France that sent Catholic missionaries all over the world. France, whose culture, and I mean the honoring of the individual and of human rights and of freedom, is grounded very much in Christianity, felt the right thing to do was to mock the Christian faith. You know, a question I would pose, we all know the answer to it. Would they ever have dared mock Islam in a similar way?
No.
Would they ever have dreamed of mocking in this gross, you know, public way a scene from the Quran?
No.
As I say, we all know the answer to that. I think, folks, what's interesting here is this deeply secularist postmodern society knows who its enemy is. They're naming it, and we should believe them. They're telling us who they are. We should believe them. But furthermore, we Christians, we Catholics should not be sheepish. We should resist. We should make our voices heard.
All right, so the way that I'm going to make my voice heard is to tell you guys why I think people are doing this in the first place, why they feel either compelled to do this or that it's okay to do this. I think it really comes down to they just don't think that Christianity is true. They have no reason to think that Christianity is true. And once you do that, once it's off the table, then sort of anything goes. You feel like you can mock it in any way that you want. You can say anything that you want about it. I mean, obviously it's false. There's no reason to think that it's true. So let's just, let's just forget about it and start making fun of it and move on. Now, it's such a shame that people have this mindset because there's a lot of evidence for the truth of Christianity. There's a ridiculous amount of it. And I want you guys to know about this. If you've never heard anyone claim that there's evidence for the truth of Christianity, what I want you to do is actually click on this video right now, go watch my 3-hour long video interviewing 2 scholars on all of the evidence for Christianity. Go watch that right now, change your mind, and be blessed.